Let's now take you to Buhlebezwe village in Mpumalanga, where Transport Minister Barbara Creecy is giving an update on various road upgrade projects. Let's listen in.
What is exciting is that this 12 kilometers is very close to completion. By March next year, we will be putting out other packets of sections of the road to tender. There are altogether 17 packages in this road, and you would understand that some parts of this road are easier to construct and some are more difficult. And that is not just to do with the geography, it's also to do with the fact that what we have witnessed as we have driven along is encroachment on the road reserve. And that means that the contractors will have to negotiate with communities. We've asked the mayors and the royal family to accompany us today, because obviously as we move forward with this project and it becomes more complicated with encroachment on the road reserve, we are going to need support of community leaders to persuade people to move back from the road reserve for their own safety and also in the national interest, as this is a very, very important national project. This road carries 60,000 people every day on buses and taxis to and from Gauteng. It has a very, very sad history, and it has unfortunately taken many, many lives. And for me, having heard about these accidents most of my adult life, I'm very glad that I will have an opportunity over the term that I have as Minister of Transport to work with SANRAL and to work with the MECs and the leadership here in Mpumalanga and in Limpopo to make sure that we overcome obstacles and we speed up construction. What we understand is that our road network is very important for the safe, efficient and effective transport of people and goods. If we want to achieve our President's objective, which is to make employment and growth of the economy the #1 priority, it's very important that roads such as this must be upgraded so that those who use them can get speedily to work, we can move goods and services effectively and safely. And of course, the actual construction project is very important for job creation. This 12 kilometers has created 198 jobs in the local community. There are 88 small contractors doing the stonework, the drainage work, and many other small works aspects of this 12 kilometers. And I always mention the important role that SANRAL plays in giving small local contractors experience. Because we have something called the CIDB, we expect contractors to be registered. Contractors are able to move up the CIDB grading on the basis of having successfully completed infrastructure projects. So we see this work opportunity as being very, very important, so that we can not only support the bigger engineering firms that would be the overall project managers, but we can also make sure that small local people are able to develop their skills and also able to create work. I think at this stage maybe we'll hand over for Q&A. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister. We'll take just 2 or 3 questions. Do we show hands? Then it is, I see Newzroom. Any other hand? I see Pule is looking down. So we'll go Newzroom at the moment.
Minister, Veronica Mokoni here from Newzroom Afrika. What I wanted to know from you is, perhaps maybe could you tell us, apart from the fact that we know that this road has always had, as you've mentioned, a very sad history in South Africa, the priority now to have this infrastructure upgrade, how important is it? I also know that while we've been looking at the road, we see the many efforts and the interventions to create a better road network. But what about the issue of driver behavior? I think that is still something that is quite a challenge, despite how great this road is looking. And perhaps maybe also if you could speak to us about, yeah, I think that for now.
So I think that when one looks at promoting road safety, construction design is very important. And what you would see is that there's an attempt to make the road straight, to have an effective barrier between the two lanes of traffic. There's high mast lighting, because we know that this commuter route is used at night and in the early hours of the morning. And in this barrier, we have installed electricity cables. We've also installed fiber cables. Now that's very important because in due course, we will have cameras the length of this route. What we normally do on major roads is that SANRAL will have an operations center. We will have people 24/7 monitoring those cameras. Where problematic behavior is identified, either from drivers or pedestrians, patrol vehicles can be deployed to the scene by the control room. But I think that you're raising a much bigger issue about road safety in our country. What we know from research that was done by the RTMC in 2015-2016 is that 73% of accidents are caused by driver behavior. Either speeding, driving under the influence of alcohol, using the cell phone, painting your nails, and all other kinds of behavior that really shouldn't happen on the roads. And one of the issues that we are working with the department on currently is how do we improve the implementation plan on road safety? So better patrolling, better observation of our roads being an enormous priority, and it's something that we are trying to work with our provincial colleagues on ensuring that we can, on the most major routes, have patrolling 24/7, because it's not enough to have patrolling during the day. We know that most accidents are occurring between Friday evening and the early hours of Sunday morning. So working with provinces to see how we sort out this vexed issue of 24/7 patrolling, but also working on a big program on changing driver behavior. And in my view, there needs to be constant public education on the implications of not obeying the rules of the road. There needs to be constant public education about why you should leave your cell phone in the boot of your vehicle. There needs to be constant public education about the fact that you should not drink and get behind the wheel of a car. And of course, other issues such as sticking to the speed limit. We are all tempted, because in our lives we face problems. We're late for work, we have a family emergency, we think that we only had one little glass. We're all tempted to behave in an irresponsible manner. And I suppose we've got to do a lot more work to encourage people to understand why we need to be responsible always when we get behind the wheel of a car. Of course, the other people that need to be responsible are pedestrians, because sadly half of the fatalities on our roads are pedestrians. And it also means that community education has to extend towards enabling pedestrians to understand that a vehicle moving at 120 kilometers an hour cannot slow down quickly. Helping pedestrians to understand that if you're wearing black clothing and you're walking on an unlit road at night, a driver can't see you. And helping pedestrians to understand that after they visit the tavern, it's a very bad idea to walk home on a national highway. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you, Minister. Ule, Nancy.
Minister, thank you very much for the time. Lady Treaty Jones from BNCA. I just want to maybe get clarity as to what would have been opposed to the delay of the completion of the project. I mean, the former minister was told that it would have been completed by June. It's almost December, and realistically speaking, it seems that there's more work that still needs to be put in and done. Are you foreseeing any more delays in the completion of the project? And secondly, are you looking at installing cameras, technologies? We often hear of protests taking place here, people burning tires, community members burning tires, and of course that has a huge impact on the infrastructure. Are you looking at installing cameras as well? For now, that's it. Thank you.
So I guess those that are building this road must explain what the delays are. But I did ask the question twice of the project manager and the chief engineer, will we be able to drive on this road by the end of the year? And they said to me twice, that is the intention. Of course, you know, Sanral aren't very nice people. So if you don't stick to time frames, you get penalties. So maybe the intention is to avoid the penalties. But on your point about cameras, yes, that's why we've installed fiber, is so that we can eventually have cameras throughout the length and breadth of this road. As I said earlier, it's very important in terms of road traffic management. You know, one plea I would make to communities when they want to protest, and that is not to burn tires on the surface of the road. Because when you do that, you melt the tar. And when you melt the tar, you create gaps in the surface of the road, and that leads to potholes. And we all understand how frustrating and problematic potholes are. So if we could encourage those who wish to protest to do it on the road reserve and not to be burning tires in the middle of the road. So maybe, Your Majesty, I'll ask for your help and yours in this matter, because I don't think that people always understand that the frustrations you have today can have an enormous engineering impact on the structure of a road. And of course, you know, in the end, we all pay for it because we're all taxpayers. We all pay VAT on food and other substances that we buy, and unfortunately, nothing is free. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister. We're going to take it to the one-on-ones, Minister.
Yes.
If you can, that's where I want you to stand. You don't have to just stand.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Yeah. So, at this point, ladies and gentlemen, it brings us to the end of the press briefing.
We'll do the one-on-one.
And we want to thank you very much. I'm told